We're still here with President of the Louisville Basketball Investment and Support Group, Dan Issel, and we're going to continue our conversation about the plans to bring the NBA to Louisville. And I know you recently also spoke with the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to talk about this idea. Talk to us about that conversation with the Commissioner.
Well, I've known Adam for a long time. I was President and General Manager with the Nuggets in Denver when he was the Assistant Commissioner to David Stern. And so I called Commissioner Silver because I wanted him to be aware of what we were doing, that we were going to launch this. And I didn't want, I knew I wouldn't get any guarantees from him, but I never wanted to do anything or say anything that would be against the wishes of the NBA. And Adam's comment was that they would be flattered that Louisville would want an NBA team. There was no timetable for expansion, and he wished me luck. So, but that's the way the NBA does business. Their position will be, there is no timetable for expansion until the day they start taking applications. And what we want to do is we want to have everything in line, the majority owner, where we're playing, what we're going to be called, who our presenting sponsors are going to be. We want to have that all put together in a package so that when the day comes, if the day comes, we want to have Louisville's application on the top of the list.
And what's the number one selling point for bringing a pro basketball team into the city of Louisville?
I think the number one selling point is exactly what we discussed, that it would make Louisville and Kentucky a major league state and city again. And that would mean so much. You know, there wasn't a very long time ago, Mario, where Louisville was kind of on the same track as Indianapolis and Nashville. And then Indianapolis got the Colts and they had the Pacers, and Nashville got the Predators and the professional football team. And they've kind of risen above. And there's no reason, because of everything that the Commonwealth of Kentucky has to offer, there's no reason why Louisville shouldn't be in that same conversation.
And talk about your time as a professional basketball player with the Kentucky Colonels. What was the support in the state at that time for a professional sports team like that?
It was outstanding. I was blessed to play 25 years of organized basketball, starting in the 7th grade through 15 years of professional basketball, and I only won one championship, and that was with the Kentucky Colonels, and that was a great team. There were 4 Hall of Famers, Naismith Memorial Hall of Famers, associated with that team. Artis Gilmore was the center, who's now in the Hall of Fame. Louis Dampier, the all-time leading scorer in the history of the ABA, is in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Hubie Brown, who was our coach when we won the championship, is in the Hall of Fame. So those are numbers usually reserved for, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. But that was a great team, and the championship year, we averaged almost 9,000 people a game. Now, by today's standards, that doesn't sound like a lot of people, but that 9,000 per game would have put us in the top 10 of all professional basketball, ABA and NBA. And so the support was terrific.
And as we know, in the state of Kentucky, basketball is considered king by most. But with college basketball, how would a professional team impact the college basketball atmosphere here?
You know, when Coach Cal was in Memphis, when the Grizzlies came there, Coach was very supportive of the NBA moving to Memphis because he thought he could use that as a recruiting tool, because today most of these young men coming to programs like Kentucky, like Louisville, you know, they all have aspirations of being an NBA star someday. So I think he was right. I think having a professional team would only enhance the programs, not only of Louisville and Kentucky, but programs all across the state, Western, Eastern. Murray State's in the NCAA tournament this year. And so I think it would be a great situation for all of the college basketball teams.
And for people who are maybe on the fence about the idea or need some extra convincing that pro basketball would work here in our state, what encouragement would you give them on that?
Give us a shot. People have asked me, what are our chances? What percentage do we have? And I have no idea. But I know that if we don't try, our percentage is going to be zero. And so we're going to work very hard to make this happen. And the polling that our website has done, which you mentioned before, NBA 2, the number 2, Lou, 5 years ago when we first launched that website, 35% of the people in Kentucky thought that a professional team was a good idea. That number is approaching 80% now. So give us a shot. We're going to work hard, and hopefully we can make it happen.
And obviously with your experience with both playing, coaching, general manager, talk about just the excitement for you to get back in there one more time and help potentially launch another successful thing in this state.
Yeah, it's really fun to be kind of associated with professional basketball. It was so much of my life for such a long time. And as I said earlier, that Colonels team was such a special team for me, winning a championship and seeing how that affected the fans in Louisville and throughout the state. I sure would like to replicate that again.
And I know you mentioned it earlier, but obviously not a sure timetable of when the process will see itself out. It's just kind of a wait and see approach.
Well, we're working right now, and as I said before, our number one priority is to identify who that majority owner is going to be. Those conversations are taking place. It's going to take a lot of money, but surprisingly, we've been contacted since our launch, since our announcement, by a number of groups that are interested in owning a professional basketball team. And our job right now is to shift through those people and see where the real interest lies and where the real possibility of people making that type of investment. But I would hope that we would have that person, he or she, or that group identified in the next 6 to 9 months, and then we can start working on all of the ancillary things we need to accomplish.
And for people that want to keep up to date with the process of the plan, how do they do that?
Our website is the best way, nba2lou.com. And we're updating that website all the time. And it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I'm not into all of this social media. In my opinion, it gets more people in trouble than it does anything else. But they tell me that we had over on the day that we announced it, we had over 18,000 visitors to our website. So there's interest in the state for sure.
And I'm sure also in that interest, if it gets to the process of the name selection of a team, that's always would create some excitement as well, right?
Right. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't called the Kentucky Colonels, but that won't be up to me. That'll be up to somebody else.
Well, Dan, we really appreciate you making time to talk with us about the NBA to Louisville campaign, and we'll stay up to date on what's happening next.
Mariel, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. Coming up, we take you to Louisville City Hall to speak with Metro Councilwoman Barbara Sexton Smith about the possibility of an NBA team coming to her district in downtown Louisville. Stay with us. You're watching In Focus, Kentucky.